one country will attack another country. That one they call preemptive strike. Okay, preemptive strike. One country attack another country because they think that country is dangerous. Then they call it preemptive strike. But this one is not preemptive strike. Okay? Don't get confused. Don't read your newspaper and say, oh, preemptive strike. No, this one, stop. No, it's not that, it's different. Preemptive rights actually allows common stockholders to maintain their proportionate ownership in a corporation when new shares are issued. Okay. Now let's say you have shareholdings in one company, right? For example, Tenaga Nasional Berhad. You have 50% of the shares holding. Okay, you have the 50% shares. So majority, you have 50% shares. And then suddenly Tenaga Nasional Berhad would like to issue more shares from what is currently in the public, in the market. So if they have 100 shares, 100,000 shares, and you hold 50,000 shares, okay? So basically you have 50%, right, stake in the company. But if the company increase the number of shares to 200, what happens to your shares? Stake. Your stake will not become 50%, but you will become 25%. 50,000 out of 200,000. So with this right, with preemptive right, you have the opportunity to buy the share first, so that you can maintain your stake in the company. Okay. So if they want to issue 200 shares, you can buy another or additional 50,000 shares. Okay? So altogether your share will become 100,000 and it will be 50%. It's the same as previously before the company issue the new shares. So this is preemptive right. The price, yes, it's the same price. Okay, so this allows existing shareholders to maintain voting control and protect against the dilution. Dilution means okay. For example, an analogy. You have one glass of juice, orange juice. Okay, one glass of pure orange juice. You have blended it, and then you can drink one glass. But instead of drinking it, you take another glass of pure plain water, and then you add it together. What do you think happened to the mixture of the orange juice? It has diluted, right? Diluted. So it's the same as this. It has diluted. It means that your composition, is decreasing. Composition of your stake in the company, right? Decreasing. Right? And then in a right offering, so this is given, this opportunity is given in a right offering. We call it a right offering. The firm grant rights to its existing shareholders, which permits them to purchase additional share at a price below the current price. So your question is now, is it the same price or not? They can purchase it at below the current price. Below the current price. For example, if the price, the market price is RM2, they can buy maybe $1.50. So basically, they can buy 150, then they can sell it back in the market. Alright. Okay. Now let's see authorized, outstanding and issued shares. Okay. I think you have one of you has sent me an email regarding about this, right? Authorized, outstanding, and issued shares. What are the differences between these type of shares? Okay, basically, authorized shares are shares which you are authorized to issue. Okay, you are authorized to issue, but does not necessarily you have to issue every share that you are authorized. Okay, so you might want to only issue 1 million out of 2 million authorized shares. Okay, so that is authorized, dibenarkan. Berapa share yang dibenarkan untuk dikeluarkan. Outstanding shares are the number of shares which you have already issued and been held by the public in the market. Okay, we call it outstanding. And issued shares are actually the shares that have been issued, okay, by the company. So it is actually including outstanding shares and also treasury stocks. Okay, treasury stocks. Treasury stocks are shares which have been issued to the public, but repurchased back by the company, and they keep it in their treasury. Okay. Okay. So look at the definition. Authorized shares are the number of shares of common stock that a firm corporate charter allows. Okay. And then outstanding shares are the number of shares of common stock held by the public and the market. Okay. Treasury stock is the number of outstanding shares that have been purchased by the firm. Okay. So actually we have issued outstanding in the market, but we repurchase that. So we repurchase. Issued shares are the number of shares that have been put into circulation and includes both outstanding shares and also the treasury stock. Okay, these are the issued shares, which are the shares which have been issued. Treasury stock also have been issued. Okay, but we purchase back again. So it's called issued shares. Alright. Let's see the voting rights. So if you look at voting rights, each share of common stock entitles holders, okay, to 1 vote, okay, in the election of directors and also on special issues. So basically, if you look at this mechanism, 1 vote equal to 1 share. If you have 50,000 shares, how many votes do you have? You will have 50,000 shares. Okay, so basically you have the voice. You are the major stakeholders. Major stakeholders. So votes are generally assignable and may be cast at the annual stockholders meeting. So basically, you can assign the votes, okay, the voting rights to other people, other third party. Okay. So many firms have issued 2 or more classes of stock, differing mainly in whether they can vote or not. Okay. So stock also have class A or class B. Okay. So class A, okay, common stock designated as non-voting, whereas class B has voting rights. So A, no vote. B, yes, you can vote. Okay. So because, okay, most shareholders attend the annual meeting to vote, okay, because they have a lot of things, other things to do. For example, if you go to any annual general meeting, basically, okay, the stockholders do not attend the meeting. Okay? Okay? For example, TNB annual general meeting. You think the stockholders will be going there, have meeting with the company? They don't care. They don't even care. What they care is I buy the share 1 ringgit. Next time I want to sell it at 5 ringgit. See, they don't care whether the operation is good or not. Who are the management? Okay, basically they are only the stock market players. Okay, there are some of them are stock market players, and they are known as speculators. Okay, speculators. Right. So basically, if they don't vote, they may sign a proxy statement, giving their votes to another party. Okay, we call it proxy statement. So basically, if I have the share of PMB, I can assign my voting right to somebody else. Okay, I just sign proxy statement. Okay, and then that person will go to the annual general meeting, vote for me, vote on behalf of me. Right? So that is called proxy statement. Okay, so sometimes also there are proxy better to unseat existing management and gain control. Okay? So they wage a proxy better. So basically they collect all the stockholders, okay? And then they want to elect to vote on something. So they pakat, okay? Have a consensus. Okay, we like to throw out these board of directors. Okay, give me your voting right. I will make sure that this board of directors will be thrown out from his office. So this is the proxy battle, the corporate battle. Okay, it's actually a war of that. There is a war. Okay. Now look at dividend. We continue on dividend. Okay. The payment of dividend is at the discretion of the board of directors. So this is why it is important for the stockholders to elect who are the board of directors, because they are the ones who will make decision on how much dividend should be paid to the stockholders, right? Okay, so if the board of directors are cheapskate, you will receive no dividends. Okay, and then dividend may be in cash, also may be in shares and stock, and also even merchandise. Okay, dividend can be such as that. Sometimes dividend also can be in terms of holiday package. Okay, 2 days travel to Australia or to Zimbabwe, right? So these are some of the types how the dividends are being distributed to the stockholders. Okay, because the stockholders are the residual claimants, okay? They are the ones who will receive the kuah. Okay, so they receive dividend payments only after all claims have been settled with the government. Why they say with the government? Because government require taxes. So we have to pay tax first. Then we only pay dividend. Creditors, creditors also must be paid first. Then only pay dividend. And also preferred stockholders. Okay, preferred stockholders have priority or seniority rather than the common stockholders. But the preferred stockholders do not have voting. Look at international stock issues. Okay. Now, since the world market has been rapidly growing, okay, you can see that people can buy stock from the United States of America and New York Stock Exchange. They can buy from Japan Stock Exchange, Singapore. Okay, they can buy. Okay, because of the advance of the information technology, computer technology. You can push with just a push of a button. You can move billions of funds from one place to another place. Right? Push. You just push with a click of the button. Okay. Then done. Settled. Your fund is now in Taiwan. Okay. Buy the Taiwan shares. Okay. So the international market has becoming popular, okay, because of the advent of technology. Okay, last time we can only buy the stock market with KSE here, but now we can buy stocks traded in anywhere. Okay, we can also trade 24 hours a day. Okay, 24 hours a day. Once the stock market in KL closed, the stock market in US has just started to open. Okay, and then when the stock market in US closes, okay, the stock market in Japan started to trade. So 24 hours a day. Okay, tak payah tidur, main stock. Okay. So even though it is becoming popular, but it still is not as popular or as large as the international debt market or the bond market. Okay. However, cross-border trading and issuance of stock has increased dramatically during the past 20 years. Okay. I've mentioned before because of the advent of technology. Okay. You can see a lot of stock, and you can buy Yahoo stock, Google, macam stock. Okay, with the internet, you can buy stock from the internet. You don't have to go to New York. You don't have to go to Japan. Okay. Okay, much of this increase has been driven by the desire of investors to diversify their portfolio internationally. So if you look at a portfolio, what is a portfolio? Before I explain. Portfolio. What is a portfolio? Okay, now let's say if I buy one stock, TNB only. That one I am holding one stock. Okay, so that is not a portfolio. But if I hold TNB shares, and then I hold telecom shares, and then I buy also Antec, okay, Magnum. Okay, so when I hold a lot of shares, I buy a lot of shares. Okay, this bundle of shares actually is called portfolio. A portfolio. Okay, a combination of different shares or different stocks, what we call a portfolio. Now, if you look at the nature of the portfolio, so when you hold a portfolio, actually you are eliminating or reducing your risk. Okay, you are reducing your risk. Okay. Now let's say if I hold only one share, what happens to my shares, to my investment, if the company goes bankrupt? Everything, all my investment will disappear, right? Gone with the wind, right? But if I hold a lot of shares, TNB, Telecom, and all that, so if TNB goes down, I still have all other shares. So that is what we call eliminating or diversifying the risk factors. Okay, if you look at this, okay, if you have a portfolio, your risk will become like this. Okay, it will become like this. The more portfolio you hold, the lesser the risk that you will be facing. Okay, for example, you might want to include blue chips, okay, and second board shares. Okay, so you can have a portfolio of blue chips and also the second board shares. Okay, but if you hold international stocks, okay, your risk will also diversify lower compared you hold it only local. This is risk. Okay. If you hold it more, or you hold more international stock, actually you diversify it lower because of the currency exchange, the economic factors. If Malaysia economy goes down, I still have shares which is US shares. Okay, for example, which is the economy might be okay. Okay, so I am diversifying the risk of my portfolio. Okay? If I hold it internationally, right? International stocks, rather than I hold only local or domestic shares. Okay, so we continue on stock issued in the foreign market. Now, a growing number of firms are beginning to list the stock on foreign market. Okay, so a lot of firms are issuing and listing their shares in the foreign market. Why? Because actually they want to assimilate, okay, assimilate their company into the foreign market. For example, they want to assimilate themselves, okay, into the market, and then they will become local. Okay, first they are foreign. When they listed in the foreign market, okay, for example in Malaysia, and then lastly they will jadi a Malaysian company, joint venture. Okay, so there is a process of assimilation. Okay? Assimilation. Okay, issuing stocks internationally broadens the company ownership base and helps it to integrate itself in the local business scene. So what I'm trying to say just now is assimilation. Okay, you try to go to the market, try to list your stocks, and then you become the local business. For example, you look at here, Coca-Cola, okay, Volvo, and all that, right? So they have assimilated themselves here. Okay, they become local instead of an international company. Nestle become local, even though they are a multinational company. Okay, right? So they have assimilated themselves into the local market. This one we can skip. We look at another stock, which is quite important. Okay, preferred stock. Okay, preferred stock, or in Bahasa Malaysia we call it saham keutamaan. It's saham keutamaan. Why it is preferred? Because it has all claims senior to the common stock holders, so they are preferred stock. Okay, we continue on to the preferred stock. So preferred stock is an equity instrument that usually pays a fixed dividend and has a prior claim on the firm's earnings and assets in case of liquidation. Right? So we know that if you compare the common stock does not have fixed dividends. Okay, the dividend will be determined by the board of directors. But preferred stockholders have fixed dividends. So actually preferred stockholders is a hybrid. Hybrid. Do you know what's hybrid?